Okay. Devin from Sway in the Morning, Sirius XM. Corin, Taissa, Demián, thank you for joining us. I know we only have a little bit of time, so I want everybody to be able to get a chance to get a question in. So my question is, you as a director, what was your favorite scene to direct? And Taissa and Demián, what were your favorite scenes to film as actors?
These are good ones.
You start. I need a moment to think.
There's two scenes that spring to mind that you were both in at the same time. And it was always exciting to have them both in, because in the movie they obviously split up at different times. Sometimes they didn't know what each other got up to. There was probably one of my favourite scenes in the movie is, and we can talk about this, can't we? Is it going to spoil things too much? There's a scene when they all kind of come together. This, Sister Irene, Father Buck, and also Frenchie, is when they find this important artifact in the movie, and it's sort of. Everything sort of suddenly comes together and they all are on a certain level together. And I just loved that moment in the movie when they're all, they're kind of acknowledging each other, they're on the same level, even Frenchie. And there's something quite holy about this moment. And also the music, which I haven't really talked much about yet, but it's by Abel Korzeniowski, who's an incredible composer. And it took a while to get all the score on this movie, and to see that, it's sort of like the most emotional moment for me. And I love that there's an emotional moment. And very quickly, because I don't know if this will help you out, but complete opposite moment. Demián Bichir is inside a grave in a cemetery at night in Romania, screaming for help. Taissa Farmiga is like in a nightdress with a spade, in her bare feet, in Romania in the middle of the night, like trying to, and I'm sort of watching, screaming stuff at you to try and get you to that, because it was, what is it like to sort of have to dig someone out of a grave? Mm-hmm. And
I thought Sister Irene did a great job. I mean, she did it quite efficiently, I have to say.
Yeah, I was impressed. Didn't even use her feet or anything too to shove that shovel in.
All biceps, all upper body. I got it.
Well, one of the hard things I think for you was that we had different graves, and that you were having to dig onto what was effectively a wooden, heavy wooden surface covered with bits of turf. Yeah. And I'm going, dig deeper, and you're going, I can't do it.
Well, it's also because you're in the middle of this scene, so I'm trying not to lose. You don't want to lose that the place you are emotionally in the scene. So the director's giving you notes, but you respond in that heated feeling you have. So I can't do it. What?
Yeah.
It's funny. It's a funny experience.
And then you kind of having to claw out of the ground and pull yourself out of this grave. So
yeah. I mean, favorite scene for me. I don't know. I love that stuff. I love when it's physical and you're just in it and you're kind of in a rush and you don't have time and you can't think. I like when you just have to be and exist and you're in the moment. And those times when you're running low on we have to wrap the day. We've been shooting too long already, and it's we gotta get the shot. And I just love that because it's this rush of adrenaline. I guess people get it when they watch horror films. I don't like watching horror films, but I like getting that on set. That energy it really pumps you up, and I don't know, it feels like you're really making something.
Right. Yeah, that end of day. Suddenly you've got to do an entire scene that you wanted 2 hours, and you've got 10 minutes. It does sort of leave you.
It's all or nothing.
Yeah.
I really say this from my heart. I have so many favorite scenes. It was just such a joy to shoot this film. But one of the things that I didn't want to do too many takes of was me in the coffin. Inside the coffin, and look, I'm not claustrophobic. I'm okay with small spaces and stuff and all that. But I said, there's not too many takes, please.
But we also had we had different coffins because we had coffins in studios, in the graveyard.
Thank you very much. That's my point. So I was praying for that to be put in and out situation and then get it done. And then we shot it 3 different times in 2 different countries, 2 different continents. And so I went in 3 different times in the entire shooting. I said, me, my big mouth, man. I won't say that again,
I got to say, I just must say, because there's 2 quick coffin moments for this. One was the spade that comes through. And nearly kind of we wanted it to be this moment where, Irene is desperately pulling her in. It's 1, boom, 2, boom, and it just kind of comes 1 centimeter away. So I'm like, don't worry, it's not going to go to a knee, Demián. And, Damian's in the coffin, and so he's doing the reaction with no spade, and we've got some dust that we're sprinkling. So I'm going 3, 2, 1, go, and he's sort of doing the reaction. And then we put the spade in, and we kind of comp the two together. And you can see on the monitor Demián's side profile and the spade. And the spade has a bolt through it that stops it from going too low. So we did this a few times, and Demián's like, you know what, you've got the bolt through. We should just do one where I'm in the coffin. And it can't hurt me because you see the bolt. And I was sort of thinking, maybe this could be a cool, like, you know, authentic moment. And then we do one more without Demián still. And the guy on top, you know, this Romanian guy goes, thrust it through. The bolt breaks through the rotten coffin. The spade goes all the way through to the floor. And our monitor image, it's a composite of Damian's face going, it's got the spade like an X-ray halfway through the brain.
Oh my God. That's
This
funny.
guy saved my life. Yeah, literally.
I have a question for you guys. I'm Kyle Santillan, WGCI from Chicago. My question is, when you film a movie like this or create a movie like this, The Nun, with all the religious overtones in it, obviously, you know what I mean, does it either have you questioning your religion at all or reaffirming anything that you guys believe in?
That's interesting. You know, for me, one thing I was fascinated by Sister Irene was her devotion and her faith, and I was really impressed by it, because someone to lead the life of a nun, it requires immense inner strength and devotion and commitment, which, you know, I'm fine with commitment. I don't have an issue with commitment, but that's a long time, and I don't know if I was really questioning my faith or reassured it, but I was just impressed that people can be so committed and have such faith. And it's astonishing to me to fully just commit and believe. Absolutely. It blows my mind, and I just have so much respect for them. Yeah.
I do believe in, you know, this huge energy that moves it all, and the same as Taissa, I great respect for soldiers and priests, and they're both, you know, a type of soldier, and priests are, you know, and nuns and novitiates and all that. They commit to that forever. But I think the encounter with Father Burke reaffirmed that it's faith what keeps us alive, especially in this time and place that we're living in the planet in general, right? And these horror stories that are written at the White House, that affect the world, it's about faith. And when faith is broken, you lose everything. And it's faith that tells me that those kids separated from their parents, they will get back together again. And it's faith in humankind and in humanity and humans and fellow humans that we will be that we have to be human in order to stay alive, not animals, not stop behaving like animals.
Yeah.
Sorry, I went too dark.
I couldn't possibly say anything better than Demián.
It's the film that makes me dark, man. I wasn't like that.
Yeah.
I'm DJ Sus1 from thefeaturepresentation.com. I rep New York. Okay, so I'm 6'3". I watch a lot of horror movies. I jumped at least 4 or 5 times. So after watching this movie, I'm just curious, you guys were in the movie, and I know, you know, me being on radio, I sound different listening to myself outside the radio than when I'm in it. Yeah. So did you guys watch the movie and jump 4 or 5 times like my coward ass?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I'm just curious.
Absolutely.
Like, was it different when you watched yourself?
Absolutely. I was saying this a year and a half ago when we were filming. I was asking the producers, I said, okay, before I go to the premiere, I need a pre-screening. I need a pre-screening with all the lights on and my boyfriend will hold me and cover me because I will not be able to contain myself at the premiere. So I had the pre-screening. I watched it like this. You got to do the thumbs in the ears, hands over the eyes. Then you cut, yes, oh my God.
That was
works.
us.
It's the only way I get through it. You're like, yeah, whatever. Okay. No, it works, I'm telling you. But
we could have saved so much money, man, if we'd just like not done so many sound effects and cut a load of scenes. That
sorry, but listen, I am excited for the premiere because I'm going to actually see the final cut with all the music and everything perfectly edited and you know all the last little bits of ADR.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try for Corin for you.
Thank you.
I'm going to sit in my hands.
I did, yeah,
And I'm going to stare at the screen. I'm going to keep my eyes wide open. I'll let you know how it goes.
I mean, you were pretty similar. You're like, I'm not watching this.
I established that from day one. I'm not kidding. I told the producers and everyone else, if that's a requirement, then I'm out. You know, if I have to watch this, you know, the whole thing, because I'm not a big fan of horror films. I have great respect for, you know, the work they do, but I just can't pay to be scared. I don't like the feeling of, ugh, and then my hairs and then my nape, you know, going like a hoo-ha. Then that feeling, and I know exactly what you mean, man, because I am that, you know, crying baby too. You know, like, and it makes me mad that I get so easily scared. So I try to avoid that. And I saw first, you know, one of the rough cuts, and especially the scenes that I wasn't in, you know, that I didn't shoot. So to me, it was brand new, and it was a surprise, and it was not even complete.
Yeah.
You know, it's not. We still needed to complete it, and so as Taissa says, I can only imagine the way it sounds now, you know, and the way it looks now. So
But I tell you, one person who does relish watching the movie and watching herself is Bonnie Aarons. And she's like, oh yeah, we're gonna really like terrify people. And like, oh, Taissa's gonna be like really scary.
Bonnie does love to scare me. I think it's her favorite pastime. I'm upset because I'm the prime candidate because I'm so jumpy. Has she seen it? Has she seen it?
Yeah, she loved it.
But you love that, right?
Yeah,
you love
I mean,
horror.
I love horror. I love the fact that you guys were sort of like semi-terrified during the making of the movie. Bonnie was just like her own entity anyway, you know, wants to just terrify everyone.
I actually want to ask a question on that. So I'm Lisa from Z1035 Radio in Toronto. So you're not a fan of horror movies. Are you guys? And I want to know what's your favorite horror movie of all time? Especially, Corin, especially you. Like all-time fave.
My all-time favorite one.
And I must say, the movie was scary as F, and everyone could agree. It was terrifying. Terrifying.
That's good to hear. My one single only favorite terrifying horror movie is Alien, Nightmare on Elm Street, The Thing, The Exorcist, Evil Dead 2, The Shining, Rosemary's Baby, Don't Look Now. Oh man, yeah, no, there's movies that have really encapsulated me, and since I was sort of younger, and I just find it really thrilling to kind of imagine another world that kind of exists, that I kind of want to bring things that don't exist into our world, I suppose.
I don't think you will ever hear me utter the word favorite and horror movie in the same sentence because I don't like horror films. I'm the biggest baby in this room. I have a light soul, okay? It can only handle so much. I don't want to. Do you want me to go home and cry in a corner? Because that's what happens.
No, I don't want you to do that.
That's what happens.
No, I'm sorry. I feel a bit guilty of, you know, to have to put you through it, you know.
Well, it's different. It's different experiencing and acting in it. It's fun because you know you go through such an intense situation between action and cut, and then all of a sudden you're not rolling anymore, and everyone's just laughing and like, this is our job. Like we're like, you know, like we're ripping skin off someone's face, and it's like this is what we do. So that part of it's fun. That's why I don't mind being a part of it. On not watching it, but creating it.
You know I don't like horror films because I watched a few. That's why I know I don't like them, right? I don't like the feeling, the experience is not, you know, satisfying. So, but I did watch The Exorcist, and that is without a doubt one of the spookiest things, and The Shining. I mean, up until now, there's no way I can walk in a hall in a hotel without, you know, seeing those little creatures, you know, like standing there just looking at me, or the blood coming out of the
elevators
forget
and
about
everything.
it. So yeah, that's.
Those are great answers, class.
Because I have a question based on this topic.
Oh, go ahead.
One last question. This one's for you, because they don't like horror movies.
Yes.
So besides the Conjuring universe,
Yes.
because The Nun was incredible. Let's just get that out the way. Besides the Conjuring universe, in your opinion, what was the best horror franchise of all time?
Best horror franchise.
Because mine is A Nightmare on Elm Street, but I just want your opinion as a director.
I mean, Alien franchise. This guy's
Alien
in it.
franchise.
There you go. You only pick one.
Yeah, I know.
He's thinking of a second.
He doesn't know what the word favorite means.
What am I thinking though? You know, yeah, I mean, Nightmare on Elm Street did a great job. I actually love, and a reference for this for me was Nightmare on Elm Street 3. one of the best films.
It was 1 and 3. Well, 3 was the best.
Yeah.
I'm Mo from Mo Show on Alt AZ 93.3 in Phoenix. You guys have been shooting an incredibly terrifying and scary movie. Did anything creepy happen on set while you guys were there?
Not for me, but I went into this film choosing that I was adamantly not going to let anything like get into my mind and take over, my psyche and my dreams. I refused it. I didn't want anything supernatural.
Right.
So I was safe.
Good.
I heard he had an experience. He didn't share until after, which thank God, because I was on set. I was like right there and I didn't know what happened.
I did, yeah. Did you have anything supernatural occur?
Same as Taissa, I didn't, of course, lucky me, I was playing Burke, Father Burke, which is a superhero. And so
He has immunity.
I wasn't that, he has immunity. I was into that channel, I went into that like nothing can scare me, really, because sometimes it's easy that your head plays games on you, but I was into that territory, even when we were in the castle, the real castle, where Bram Stoker got inspired to write Dracula. Even then, I would walk the rooms alone, and I was just like really, really feeling that I had this power beyond my own, knowledge and control, that nothing bad could happen to me.
He's super talented. Look at him. I'm glad he feels so safe in life.
Funny,
All right.
funny feeling.
I genuinely had my one and only supernatural experience making this film.
Well, that was spooky, man.
And I should tell you about it. It was during the Corridor of Crosses sequence where we were filming in an old fort in Romania called Mogoșoaia, which is an old Romanian fortress. And we were shooting the scene when Sister Irene is making her way to the door that opens, and something's lurking behind it maybe, and she's trying to get away again. So we're doing a complex camera movie. We're tracking. It's a 200-foot real tunnel, and it's underground, and it's real, it's as authentic as you could get.
It's disgusting.
Not the most pleasurable place.
My face was in the ground. It was disgusting.
Yeah.
I'll vouch.
Taissa was like a real trooper, in every sense of the word, and she's having to be dressed in, and she's in her like nightgown, and she's having to be kind of like hanging off these crosses and crawling on the ground. But while we were filming, Maxime Alexandre, the DOP, was rigging up this tracking shot. We're in this 200-foot corridor long, and I'm in a black sealed room, no bigger than this room, because when you're making a film, all the crew have to sort of find places to hide while you're shooting. And as I went into the room, I saw a couple of what I assume was Romanian crew members, like sound guys, just sort of sitting in the darkness. And it wasn't like out of the ordinary. There'd be a crew member there, and I'd say like, "How you doing?" And then I'm focused on the shot, so I kind of had my back like this to the monitors, and the corridors through here, and there's only one door in and out. And I was watching this take for about half an hour, trying to get it right. It was quite frustrating. And then finally, we got this take where Taissa was performing, and the camera's tracking and rotating. And I'm in this pitch black room, and I was like, "Oh, great, we got it, thank God." And I go like, turn around. "Did you see that?" to tell this couple. And I turned around over my shoulder, and there was no one there.
Oh, no.
And there never had been anyone in the room.
The whole time there was nobody.
Well, there couldn't have been, because it was a sealed room. The only way out was the door next to me. And also, then it made sense, because we're in an old Romanian fortress that had like a lot of death in it. And but I was in the middle of making the film, so I couldn't like stop and go, "Hey, wait, everyone! I've just sort of met some ghosts." So it was only really later on that I remembered that this had happened and sort of mentioned it, and then now telling you guys. So I felt like we had some visitors who were checking out what we were filming.
I'm Carmen from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. And I wanted to ask, this is going to be a little more music related. So what was like the soundtrack for you for then? This is such a dark movie. So when you were, whether you're chill out, relaxed time, or taking a break from the set, were you listening to peppy music or kind of something to keep you in the mood? And what were you kind of getting into during the time? What were you listening to?
I mean, I made you guys playlists. I don't know. I didn't expect you to listen to them like on offset. It was more in the lead up for the characters to sort of give you some music
you made
for the
a
characters.
playlist? Or was it?
Yeah, I did like an Irene list and a Burke list, and they were sort of songs that I felt, for me, when thinking of the characters, sort of tapped in. They weren't period specific, although there was some 1950s songs, and I really loved that song "You Belong to Me," which was #1 that year in 1952. And I liked this idea that Irene, was a little bit of a rebel, and she had maybe saved up and bought a copy of that song and dreamed of traveling. But you should talk about that.
Yeah, no. I mean, like, during the filming, I don't think I actually listened to much music, actually. I've worked with actors who really, who they need that to help get into character and set the mood and for the different types of scene they do, but that's never been me, so I usually listen to music when I'm driving, so I just never had the opportunity, really.
I also got the first times that Corin and I were talking about the character and the story and all that. We were exchanging some titles for some songs that we thought would tell pretty much Burke's personality, and they were not necessarily like old songs or anything, and. I even shared with him something from Silvio Rodriguez that's called I Drink with Serpents, Sueño con Serpientes, which was a song that accompanied me because I know it very well. And it was something that always helped me to get into that territory.
Yeah.
And thank you.